Film isn't something in which we just watch the emotion. It's the most sincere way to truly experience it. The best directors and the most critically acclaimed films will immerse you into the rawness of humanity in a way that AI could never do, no matter how far it progresses. Take the classic film Suspiria. Although it isn't psychologically tormenting, nor does it put you in a trance of deep thought, but the vibrant, almost oversaturated atmosphere, the dreamlike colors, and the shaky camera movement is truly what makes it so great. When you're watching it, you can notice flaws, but that's just it. That's where the perfection is. There's perfection in imperfection, and AI will never touch that. AI could never have intentionally planned what went down on set, what made it so magical, all those little hiccups that truly bring it to life. If you look at Christopher Nolan's 2014 film Interstellar, there's a very famous scene in which Cooper is stuck inside of a spaceship however many miles away from his family, and he's currently getting these messages of these gut-wrenching videos, and he's quickly realizing how much time he's missed out on. And of course, like any dad would, he's breaking down watching this. And truth be told, the actor Matthew McConaughey, that was his live reaction to that footage.
We were rehearsing live, roll. And what you see in that take, that's the first take. Everything after take one is acting. Take one is where you really are reacting. And so I wanted to see that tape of the footage of my children in the movie for the first time.
So that was not an act, that was a very human response, and anyone that's seen it can attest to that. They felt the same exact way that he did. So for now, as tacky as AI might look, we can't even imagine how well it's going to be able to copy that. But for him to be on screen, truly experiencing what we're all experiencing, really immersing us into this universe of Interstellar, it would just be a tragedy for us to give this up, for us to sacrifice a way of experiencing true human emotion in ways that we might not in our lifetime to a computer. And that kind of raw instinct to react in a certain way to that performance, to that scene, is something that AI could never truly replicate. You know, AI is pattern recognition, but no word prompt, no matter how detailed, could truly embody what was going on in that scene. You know, AI, it can copy sadness, it can copy regret, but it can't itself feel that. And that feeling that you get from that actor, from the thoughts of that director, is something you truly experience. You feel that. You feel that pain. The famous director David Lynch had a fascination with the dream state. And when you watch his films like Mulholland Drive or Inland Empire or Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me, there's images that he was able to take from his mind and put it on set, put it on the screen in indescribable ways. There's no way you could possibly put into words what he does in those scenes with the Black Lodge in Twin Peaks, or the really sporadic, detached feeling of Inland Empire, and then those random little rabbit figures show up and they're sitting on the couch, and it's not something that you can prompt. And that's the beauty in it. The true skill in filmmaking comes from being able to take those ideas and transpose them onto the screen. And if filmmaking was just as simple as literally writing a prompt, if that's really all that went into it, it wouldn't be special. Nobody would be filling up the movie theaters. You wouldn't hear anybody talking about it. Or even take more of a recent director, Damien Chazelle. He directed La La Land, Whiplash, and his greatest achievement in the majority of his filmography is human limitation, human obsession, the quarrels with love and ambition, fighting against each other in our own little worlds. AI can't dream. It has no memories, it doesn't have its own living experience, and it doesn't love anyone. And outside of its inability to replicate what we have, what all of these great artists before us have done, we would be losing our grip on a part of our culture that frankly has taught us so much since the beginning of time. You think about filmmaking, what's at its core? It's storytelling. And as much as some people may argue on the AI side that, well, you know, if it's my original idea and I put it into this prompt, like, didn't I do something? Sure, but is it really going to stay that way? Is that truly effective? Will that be the end game? Because you look at it now, you can find studies of how dependent people are becoming of AI just in their own thought processes. So as much as some people might use it to build on their ideas, other people it's strictly for ideas. And then once you've coughed that up, you've lost everything. And of course, it would incentivize the publishers, the studios to have as little cost, as little time, as little people working on this as possible. So if all you were really doing was essentially saying, make me a movie, you didn't write the story, you didn't write the script, none of these things, those in control of the funding and the distributing are going to capitalize that as long as consumers go along with it. This problem is truly a global phenomenon because not only should the producers, should the filmmakers be worried about this and take some pride in the work and the empire that they've built with the film industry, but the consumers would be losing out incredibly. And you think about how many people pour their lives into this. With any movie, you have a director, writer, a bunch of actors, editors, the light guy, someone doing visual effects. These are all jobs. These are all passions. We're going to be coughing up the ability to do anything we're passionate about if it's all just simply going to be replaced. And it's crucial that we, as humanity, put our foot down and say very specifically in art, because it is so crucial to who we are as people, that efficiency does not matter more than humanity. And that's how art will truly die. And that is why we need to say no. Please, please, for the love of God, find the perfection in the imperfection.